welcome to Teal House Farm. Today we are finally making raised beds for our garden and I'm so excited. I have all of our wood set out, but before I get started, I think I know how to do everything, and my friend Adrian's coming over to help lend a hand. But Sam's taking a quick break from studying to show me how to use the circular saw so that we don't lose any fingers today. Think I can do it?
Oh yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
Nope. You put this up against here so that it's straight, straight, and here with that straight.
Okay.
Right. And then it's usually easier if you put, so this is like the heavy side of the drill, resting here. If you did it on this side, then when this gets cut off.
So number facing, let me make sure you actually
Wait. Yeah, as much. I look at the side over here. Look. I look over here. You go on the side. And you can follow it all the way across. That makes sense. Which angle do you want to be got at?
Left side.
Keep pushing.
Is this the last one?
Just keep pushing.
Okay. Hey, it's Adrian again. Hey. She's here to help me. Again, thank you, Adrian. So I had lots of materials, but not enough hands, and Adrian had an extra set of hands and needed some materials. So we're going to build several raised beds today. And we're going to build a different size one, right? Because you want one from an herb garden, you think?
Yeah, just a littler one.
So we'll be doing two different sizes, so you can see, but we figured we could, help each other out. So I'll show you what we got going. I went ahead and pre-cut a few things so we get started faster. So these are 6-foot cedar pickets, and then I cut 2x4s. These are 22 inches high because once we stack 4 pickets on top of each other, it'll be 22 inches. So those are corner posts. So this is my discard pile, what we have left over. But for the 2 that I'm building, I'm doing them 6 feet by 3 feet. So we're gonna cut some of those pickets in half. Woo, it's super windy. I'm using 2x4s for the corner post. I wanted to use 4x4s, but the store did not have any, and I was not going to drive all the way to a larger city just for a post. So, and then these are going to be support slats on the inside. These are just, was that 4x1s maybe? Yeah. And those are all cut 22 inches high because that's how tall the box will be. And we're going to go 2 of those. So we're going to do 2 that are 6 foot by 3 foot. And then with all of our leftovers, I still have a lot more slats. We're gonna build an herb bed for Adrian. And you were thinking, what was the size?
I was thinking like a trapezoid. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it.
We'll figure it out as we go along. But let's see what we can get done. First step, we need to cut these long slats in half so that they're 3 feet each. These will make the ends of our boxes. So we get that taken care of, and then we're gonna start building the long sides first. So we're gonna lay 4 of the slats out flat, and we're going to put the 1x4 wood piece underneath the middle as a support piece. We want to make sure the screws point in on these beds, so we have to kind of build it upside down, if that makes sense. So we're screwing in with the slat underneath to make the first long side. It's actually pretty simple. Didn't take very long at all, so we got one done. Let's make the next one, and then we're going to add the 2x4s here on the ends, and these will serve as corner supports for when we add the short ends on the sides of our boxes. We go ahead and add the 2x4s on the second long side, and it's awesome having a friend help, not only for extra hands, but because their kids keep my kids busy, so we get a lot done really fast and everybody has a great time. Okay, we need your opinion. Come over here. I used 2 long screws there. Should we just leave them, or do you have a tool where I can cut those short, or what would you do?
That would be fine.
Okay, now we're ready to add the short sides. So this part was a little hard to keep square. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but we just kind of eyeball it. One of us supports and one of us drills. And then we screw on the other long side with its 2x4 already attached. Final piece of the puzzle is to add the last set of short sides and screw them onto that 2x4, and that'll give us a box. We did it!
Beautiful.
First one's done, and it looks square / rectangular. It was a challenge because the ground is very unlevel. And then we follow the same process to make our second box. We're going to do the long sides first, so 4 long slats with a support beam through the middle, and then we screw the 2x4s on each end. Those will be our support posts for adding our short sides. Once we get those long sides made, we go ahead and get our short pieces from the pile so that we can first make an L side. And once we've got this L made, we're gonna sit it up and add the next long side on. And then we finish it off by adding the last short side on the open end. And that gives us a very simple rectangular raised bed, 22 inches high, 6 feet long, and 3 feet wide. We did it! 1, 2! Also serving as timeout prison. Please sit down in timeout prison. And it also warmed up about 20 degrees in the speed of 20 minutes.
Pilot, take over, co-pilot. Mommy, wait, guys, wait. Mom, push, and a giant shark.
All right, how many kids does my raised bed fit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Mom, get in. Adults get in. Mom, look. The screw's not in.
Yeah, be careful. There's an extra screw.
I had gotten a cut by one.
Yeah, just be careful, okay?
But Mom,
Okay, so we sent Adrian on her way with pieces to make hers. So if she finishes it before I post this video, I will show a picture here of what she made. But she's making an herb garden bed, which will be shorter, and she thinks she wants to make it like a trapezoid. So we sent her with all the pieces that she made, and she's gonna finish it at home because if we made it here, she wouldn't be able to fit it in her van to bring it home. But I think we're gonna kind of try to get these boxes maybe put into position and kind of show you how we plan on filling them and what we're gonna plant in them. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. This is tricky because there's nowhere on this farm that is remotely level. So this is level-ish. So we have this path that's really old, but goes out from the mudroom, brings us right to the garden. We have our 2 raised beds. I'm thinking about attaching some old cattle panels here so they'll have a nice trellis. And I'm gonna plant some, maybe some trombosino squash on one side, and it'll climb over the trellis to grow, which will be really neat. And then I'm also planning on doing a lot of salad mix type things over here. So there'll be a mixture of spinach and lettuce and kale over here that we'll plant in actually just a few weeks. And then over in this one, I think I'm going to do more like carrots, and I haven't quite decided. If you have a favorite thing to grow in a raised bed, let me know. I definitely want to put the larger plants like my zucchini, my tomatoes, my peppers out in the main garden there in that no-till bed that's not quite done. So I'm still deciding what to finish this up with, but salad greens over here, a big trombosino squash that can kind of dangle, and then maybe some carrots and some radishes, maybe kind of like a mixture over here. And then over here in this area that's not done yet, I'm going to stack the tires that I use for growing potatoes. And then we have our greenhouse, and all of this will still be part of the no-till bed. So it'll be a nice little kind of L-shaped garden area, and it looks trashy right now because it's half built, but we're starting to get places. It feels really great to have these raised beds done. As far as filling these, my plan is to do a hugelkultur type build. So I have lots of fallen tree limbs and twigs and that kind of yard waste, and that's going to go on the bottom. And then on top of that, I'm going to put some really old hay that I have still. It's like 4 or 5 years old, so I'm not really worried about stuff sprouting. And on top of that, we're gonna do our composted manure from our stall, and then a little bit of potting soil on top of that. So it'll be kind of these lasagna layers, and we'll do that in both beds. And the only thing we should have to buy to fill these then is the potting soil, and I'm hoping no more than 2 bags for each bed, so it should not be too expensive. So for these raised beds, right now I spent $40, but I didn't use all the wood that I bought. So I only used about $20 worth of purchased wood. Everything else was recommissioned from other projects. And to fill them, we're using stuff from our farm. So the only thing I have to buy is the little bit of potting soil for the top. So we should get out with 2 raised beds for under $100 spent today. And that feels really good because we've waited a really long time to have raised beds because we just didn't have the materials on hand, or we didn't have the fill on hand, and we just couldn't afford it. And so maybe just an encouragement, if this is something you want to do in the future but you still can't afford it this year, that next year, you know, you might have some more materials on hand from other projects, or that you've reclaimed, or that somebody gave you. Just keep your eyes open. So one step at a time as far as getting your garden where you want it to be. All right, we're gonna fill them another day because I'm exhausted, but we are set up and we're slowly heading towards spring. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.